Good evening and welcome to Cavaliers TV. We are down to the final two. They're going to BC, but now the question is who will be the Quebec champion and the wild card. Welcome here to Champlain, St-Lambert in South Shore, Quebec, off the shores of the St. Lawrence. It is the number 1 seed, Champlain, St-Lambert, against the number 3 seed, Dawson College, here from lovely South Shore, Quebec. I'm in the broadcast booth with Gab Hebert. Gab, good evening to you. We get ready for Dawson, Champlain. Dawson is a perennial contender at the Nationals. Champlain is trying to kick down that door to become that. Your thoughts early on as we dive into this game?
Yeah, good evening, Mo. Very happy to be back again at the broadcast for this big game tonight. That's for sure a big win that Champlain must hope to bring back at home, especially tonight against a pretty solid crowd so far. I think we can feel the excitement from both teams. So I'm pretty happy to be there and to see how this comes down.
How important is the first 5 minutes for either side? Champlain, a young team, as is Dawson. But Dawson, their MO has been almost a by right passage coming here to the provincial finals for so many years in a row.
Yeah, I think the first few minutes are going to be like just nervousness. So usually teams do come out and are, after like getting a few shots in, that just chills the nerves a bit. So I think for both teams, those 5 minutes are going to like try to, as much as possible, to do the small things. So, getting the first shot in, taking the first rebound, just trying to build on and get the momentum early in the game tonight.
Of course, this is the second meeting between these two schools. They met way back in November. So a lot has changed. That's almost 4.5 months, or 4 months, give or take, if my math is correct, of them meeting each other. You would expect to see two different teams playing each other here on this court in about 4 minutes from now.
Yeah, as we saw also from Dawson, like a pretty young squad, only with 2 graduating players. So obviously throughout the entire season, they are evolving as players. They're getting more solid. The confidence also is building up. So I think if they do peak at the right moment, they have a good shot at going back with the final, with the title tonight.
It is now time for the player introductions and tip-off between Champlain and Dawson here from St-Lambert, Quebec. Stay tuned on Cavs TV.
Champlain! Good evening, basketball fans! And welcome to Champlain College St-Lambert for tonight. Division I Women's Provincial Basketball Finals game, featuring the Dawson Blues and your Champlain Cavaliers for the gold medal. Bienvenue aux Dawson Blues et les Cavaliers. Welcome, fans! Et maintenant, l'animant partant de starting 5 for the Blues. Cap number 4, Lily Rose Chatilla. 6, number 6, Aisha Tia. Number 8, Hans Sarah Bailey. Number 9, Eden Welcome. Number 11, Taylor Owen. Offensive chef, head coach, Trevor Williams.
And now it is time for the Champlain Cavalier lineup. The final pieces of the puzzle will be determined for the Nationals. And what should be an engaging spectacle, a week of contesting emotions, the most delicious encounters upon us. The gym is full of roar and the hottest ticket in town. Difference between these two teams, Dawson's made it a routine training session to win these Nationals and Provincials, because Champlain crashed without apology. 3 years ago, they lost to the Blues, but now the business end is here between these two teams. Dawson and Champlain. And we're underway here. Dawson, the traditional blues with black numeral, and Champlain, the home grays, as they go attack right to left. Here's Chloe Oliver. Back out to Rio on the left side against Owen. Swung out. Far side 3. The first launch. Nylon.
That's exactly the first type of play you want to see, getting your confidence. That's a really great shot, great opening. So Dawson's going to have to be careful not to making sure that they don't let that player open.
Shatilia loses the handle, saves it right back. Here's a 3 response from Owen. Off the back heel, rebounded by Frost. Champlain has averaged about 73 points per game. Dawson 62 points per game. And the early going right now, Champlain 1 for 1 from distance so far. Oliver, whistle, and with 9:16 left, the first foul will be called against Dawson. And for the Blues, they have defended the three-point ball well. Less than 20% per game teams have hit the three-point ball against Dawson, and Champlain 1 for 1 so far.
Exactly. Dawson's always had the reputation of being a very aggressive team, both on the ball and also in help. So we'll have to see if they still hold to that reputation.
And that ball went off of Hans Billy's left ankle. This will remain Champlain ball. 14 left on the shot clock on the near side. Oliver bringing it back out to Rayo. Watched by Owen in a 1v1. Eyeball to eyeball, center arc. Swung out to Sauda on the near side, who's going to Lafayette University next year. Shatilia on her. Here's Frost. Jumper inside the arc. Splash! Champlain is off and flying, up by 6. First minute of play.
Great confidence right there by Frost. Just wide open and taking her shot, making sure that she makes them pay for not putting pressure on her on the 3-point line.
Here's Dia, the Penn State commit. Dancing, jumper inside the arc. Off the heel, rebound. Bailey, high off the glass, no good. And it goes back to Dawson. They have done a good job rebounding so far. And Owen on the end line, through a sea of legs, right to Bailey, walled off. Here's Chatilia's 3 from the center arc. Splash! And a big response from Dawson, 6-3.
Yeah, great job, great form by Chantilia, who's taking a perfect shot right at the right moment.
Dawson shooting 22% from distance this year. Sada for 3, off the back heel, rebounded by Bailey. And now with 8:10 left, here come the Blues the other way. Owen on the left wing, overload to the right side. Back with his Monka and post play. Dia fade. And can't hit off the 2 rims. Rebounded by Monka, denied by Fleurgin. And the first foul will go to Fleurgin from Champlain. And for the year, Dawson shooting 61% from the free throw line. And Monka this year 5 times led the team rebounding. And that could be the big difference, is the rebounding battle with Monka and Fleurgin.
Yeah, absolutely. I think from the get-go, we see Dawson being very aggressive on the offensive end, giving the team a second and even a third opportunity. So they'll have to be careful and make sure that they do their box out correctly.
The money quarter for Champlain is the opening period. They're plus 60. Dawson is actually plus 38. And we have a 6-4 lead here from St-Lambert, south of 8. Owen watching Sauda at the logo. Here's Caitlin Frost on the left wing. Sidecar pass to Rayo. An overload to the left side with help from Shatilia. Down to Frost. Driving on the end line. Going up in traffic and in for the 2. And Caitlin Frost twice led the team in scoring. And she's off to a flyer right now.
Absolutely. Frost taking advantage of Dawson screening a lot on ball screens. And her ending up with a smaller player. So she takes advantage of her length.
Diaz swings it back out to Monka. Here is Billy against Frost. Driving right by. Open lane denied. Shatilia on the second bite of the apple, and she's fouled. And who will this go against? But Dawson trying to penetrate through the paint here, Gab, early on in the first 2 minutes of play.
No, absolutely. I think on that last play, we see that Bailey really recognized that she has an advantage of speed against Frost and just taking it to the rim. Unfortunately, didn't finish, but give her chance, her team an opportunity for those 2 free throws.
Shatilia led the team in steals 5 times, had 9 versus St. Foy. Third leading scorer, 38% field goal shooter, and she hits on that one, 8-6 lead. And now we're starting to see a press, intercepted by Dia, Euro step, and she will go to the free throw line. And a traveling violation, I beg your pardon, I thought it was a foul, so Dia went too many steps. And Dawson again penetrating Dia, using the telescopic arms, back out, 3-on-1 for the Cavaliers, swung out, Oriel, far side 3, off the range, rebound into a sea of body, and that will be a jump ball arrow. And now Dawson, they're really trying to take away the speed of Champlain early on.
No, exactly. We see a press coming down from Dawson, putting a lot of pressure with 3 players really crowding the baseline. So making it hard for the point guard to bring the ball up easily. So they'll have to work together to make sure that they do stay 1 or 2 players just back to make sure that they bring the ball forward with more ease than on the last play.
And right there is Oliver going forward off the miscue from Owen and Dia, and back with his Aisha Dia. She'll bring it back over the logo. And Dawson's become a conveyor belt of producing, and a miscue. Did not see the ball pass coming from Billy. Oliver layup, in for 2. And we talk about steals this year. Champlain number 2 in the conference at 13 a game. Twice he had 19 steals in the matchup, and they capitalized on that miscue.
Yeah, great job by Oliver, just stealing the ball, getting control, and finishing down the basket.
Bailey, post play now. Shatilia, quick catch from Rayo, out of bounds. Whistle on the play with 6:11 left. Dawson's got 1 team foul, Champlain 2, and now in the game for the first time is Amanda Cruikshank, who's averaged 6 points per game. And it'll be Champlain ball. Would you expect them to go with the press again for Dawson, as we've seen so far? Frost will play out to Danae Skelton in for the first time from BC. She will be going home to her province of British Columbia for the VIU Nationals next week. Skelton, end line, well read by Shatilia, and here come the Blues. Marauding up ahead is Shatilia. She'll back up and look for an outlet. Finds Adia into the paint, swinging, looking, back out to the free throw line. Shachilia's 3, off the range, rebound off the hands, saved by Monka in the left corner, and out of bounds it goes with 5:44 left. As now making her appearance into the Royal Rumble is Lanafa for the Cavaliers.
And we've seen a lot from Dawson so far, taking a lot of outside shots, but also relying on rebounds. You know, not relying only on those percentage falling down, but also crashing the boards with a lot of momentum. So Champlain's going to have to make sure that they do put the body on each of their players to reduce the opportunity of getting an offensive rebound.
5 left on the shot clock. Here's Dia on the near side flats. Back out to Shatilia, into the paint with confidence, rejected through Dia's hands and legs in a shot clock violation. And we talk about defending these 2 teams in the top 4. Champlain only giving up 56 points per game, number 4. Dawson only 53 points per game. So, Gab, it might be one of the lowest scoring games with these 2 schools.
Yeah, it might be actually, but so far, you know, percentage has been quite high on both sides, especially since the 3-point line are falling for Champlain. But yeah, we've seen a lot of aggressiveness, a lot of plays that are physical. So it's going to be also interesting to see how the referees let that game go and see if the rhythm, you know, continues to be very high pace like we've seen so far.
Dawson looking to win their 3rd provincials in the last 5 years. Champlain looking for their first. They're on a 12-game winning streak. Here's Dia. Looking to boss her way through. We'll poke it back out to LaFontaine in orbit. Again, Sauda 1v1. Driving to her right. Here's LaFontaine. Blasting her way through. Rejected and fouled by Lanafa with 5:05 left on the game clock. And we talk about the length, the telescopic arms of Champlain coming through. They're first in the conference at 5 blocks per game. But Dawson showing no.
Yeah, and we see on that last play, it was actually mistakes from both Sauda and Fleurgin, kind of actually trying to switch on the play and miscommunication. And just that quick second behind give the opportunity to Owen Lafontaine, who's a great player to drive and get that foul.
She's led the team for Dawson twice in steals in a game. Jayla Owen LaFontaine, one of the top hitters on this Blues roster. South of 5 to go, 10-6 lead for the Cavaliers. They've led from start to present. Oliver, back out to Fleurgin on the left side against LaFontaine. Strong, too strong. Rebound, Fleurgin, whistle on the play. And this will be another foul going against the Blues with 4:47 left. And this will be on the end line with Oliver, the inbounder. There's a queue of about 7 bodies in the paint with 2 flexing out. Almost quickly stolen, and we've seen Aisha Dia really have an influence, the central figure of this Dawson attack in both ends of the court.
No, she has quick hands and touching those balls just to get Champlain a bit out of rhythm on that last play.
Oliver, the inbounder. Here's Skelton. She can launch from 3, and she can hit them from BC if she desires. Driving to her right. Skelton, pivoting, looking, off the window in. Perfect geometry on that shot. 12-6 lead for the Cavaliers. Skelton led the team with 14 against Momo. That was her career high. She had 2 big blocks against Vanny on Sunday. Nice first step. Cruikshank strong to the rim. And it's now a 12-8 lead for the Cavs.
Yeah, confusing here on defense from Champlain. None of the players came on defense to help in the paint. And that's going to be something that they'll have to make sure that they do bring on defense.
Here's a 3 from Skelton. Nylon! Absolute pure on that shot. 15-8 lead. Timeout called by Dawson. Plan A's gone out the window for the Blues. And now Plan B will be administered. Right now, Trevor Williams said he wanted to control the crowd. So far, the scoreboard and the crowd is in favor for the team in gray.
Oh yeah, we've seen so far a great job, great energy by the crowd, really getting into those 3-point shots that were pretty great so far in the game. A lot of energy, a lot, I think, of great choice, great plays that were drawn for Champlain. And those key players so far are really putting their A game tonight, really playing with confidence, taking shots when they are open. So if they do continue to play a solid game like we've seen so far, I think Champlain, especially at home, are going to be a hard team to beat.
So what does Dawson have to do now to get back in this game down by a score of 15-8 early on? They have shown the tenacity to really press, and as you can see now with the stats, Champlain shooting 60%, Dawson only 22% in the early going of this matchup.
No, exactly. I think they've been very dominant in terms of offensive rebound. We've seen like a plus 6 offensive rebound, so that gives you 6 fresh opportunities. So I think they'll have to make sure that they do take quality shots when they have those extra possession. So I think that's something that they'll have to try to focus on, but especially continue crashing the board, but playing aggressive defense. That's their DNA, and I think that's going to be something key for them.
And missed by Cruikshank as she went to the scene of the crime once more. And a jump ball arrow pointing towards Champlain. Chantilly leads the Blues with 5. Right now, Skelton along with Frost both have 5 points for the Cavaliers. And it will be Champlain ball with Shamik comes in the game. Owen going off now for the moment. And now they're going to pressure the defense as they like to put the vice clamps on the Cavaliers. Skelton watched by Bailey as she's watching like a babysitter, looking towards the left. And a quick hand, and Bailey will be called for the infraction on that. And that will be the 3rd team foul on the Blues. Same for the Cavaliers, 3 team fouls. And you wonder with 3:45 left here, perhaps the team might be in the bonus by the conclusion of this first period.
Yeah, you have to be careful. Just a good mix of being very aggressive, putting a lot of pressure, but not putting your team in a bad situation.
And here's a pressure now, 4-2 for the Blues. Bringing it back down, looking for an outlet is a 3 for Bailey. Off the range, rebound, Flaugin into the sea of blue, and back with it as she's now stuck in quicksand, and she somehow got that through, and through a humanity of bodies and going through the nutmeg of legs. It will be going the other way for Dawson with 3:24 left. And we talk about steals in this matchup. Dawson 4th in the country, or in Quebec, at 12.5. And they are definitely been active with their telescopic arms. Bailey to the near side. Here's Cruikshank, watched by Flaugin. Into the paint she goes. Oozing, denied. Out of bounds she goes. And that is Champlain's 3rd block of the quarter with 3:16 left.
Great job by Flaugin, really moving her feet, trying to stay in front of the starting opponent defense and making that crucial block.
Rayo on, up ahead to the right wing she goes. Champlain, Dawson. These are 2 of the best teams in Quebec going at it for the gold medal. Backdoor, Lanafa! Had 10 points against St. Foy, 51% field goal shooter, and off to a good mark, 17-8 lead for the Cavaliers. Dia back with it, swung around. Here is Bailey against Rayo on the left wing. Denied whistle, and we'll see if that will be shots coming up here for Bailey with 2:48 left. And that is Rayo's 2nd foul, I beg your pardon. So now George Mouse has a bit of a foul issue with his starting guard in Rayo.
And we'll see how important is the depth of your team. Champlain playing a lot of players quickly in the game so they get a good feel of that crowd, of what is a final game. So I think that's going to be a huge advantage if they can go depth into the bench to try to stay fresh and have a healthy legs as much as possible for that game.
Oliver dancing her way through against Bailey. She gets it back once again in orbit. Eyeball to eyeball, going to her left. Oliver from the center arc for three. Off the heel, rebound, and it goes right to Debula, a new 14 for the Cavaliers, and that is deflected out by Cruikshank. And this will remain Champlain ball with 12 left on the shot clock, 2:25 left on the game clock. Champlain 4 team fouls, Dawson 3 team fouls. Skelton the inbounder on the end line. And back with his Oliver, watched by, and it's spin move by Lanafa, swung out to the right wing. Here's an overload to the right side. Frost, 5 left on the shot clock. Switcher play near side. Lanafa has no idea as Dia blocks that shot, and a shot clock violation, so Champlain one and done on that sequence.
Yeah, and Oliver as the point guard on the floor, right in that situation, she has to recognize the shot clock coming down, and she's a key player on the floor to drive that team. So she has to ask for that ball and try to make it. Like she has a good handle. She's great at creating things for other teammates. So she needs to step up and take those shots when the shot clock ends.
Against Momo, Champlain had 26 turnovers. Here is Shatila from the center arc, driving, negotiates, authoring, and for the two, and a 17-9 lead, south of 2 minutes to go in this quarter. And back with his Oliver. So Shatila, we talk about Bailey, they've taken turns trying to guard Oliver so far in this first period of action. Debula, back towards net, looking for an outlet. Here's Caitlin Frost on 5 points. Fatima Diop in the game for the first time. Oliver, post play, Debula, losing the handle. 5 left on the shot clock on the end line. Fade away, too strong, and it goes right back to Dawson. Excellent defending by the Blues, and here they come in a 4-on-3. Diop, switcher play, and that goes out of bounds. And a rare miscue by them. They have averaged 19 turnovers per game. They had 28 against St. Foy. And so both teams a little bit twitchy when the ball's in their hand inside deep in the shot clock.
Yeah, and that's unfortunate on the last play from Dia. She had a wide open teammate with Shatila just right next to her. So sometimes you had to make the easy pass to prevent from those turnovers.
So Munka back in the game for the Blues. Bailey shadowing Oliver. Here's Debula on the right wing, looking for a cutter. Can't find it. Caught in 2 minds, giveaway. Here come the Blues. They're down by a score of 17-11. Back with his Bailey. She's got Oceans of space to work with, back and back out. Here's a 3 from the far side. Off the heel, rebounded by Sauda. Off the misfire from Hunt, and back with it is Oliver on the left wing. Oliver going through the paint. Splits through for the 2. 19-11 lead.
Yeah, great job by Oliver, recognizing that everybody on defense, even though it was a crowd key, were looking at the defender and not at the ball. So that's something that from probably the Trevor, who's a great defensive coach, probably not too happy about that last sequence.
Fade away, Bailey. High off the range, no good. Clean up on L6 is good. And a big rebound and score from Munka, who has led the team in rebounding 5 times, 4th leading scorer on the roster, and a 36% field goal shooter this year. And Champlain can play for the last shot. 16 seconds left on the big clock. Oliver for 3 from the far side. Nylon! 22-13 lead for the Cavs. And now with it, Cruikshank from the flats. Off the rim, rebounded by Debula. And at the end of one, round 1 goes to the Cavaliers. 22-13 lead. Gab, your thoughts on this first period of play?
I don't think that Champlain could have really start a better first quarter than they just did. I think they really executed both on the offensive and I think on defense. They could, I think, control the rebound better than we've seen so far. But ultimately, they've controlled the damage on those offensive boards. I think from Dawson, we've seen some good sequence there and there. I think when they do have those opportunity at 2 and third offensive plays, I think they do get something good out of it. But they'll for sure have to make sure that they put pressure on the ball to get those steals, get that spark going. Because so far, I don't think they're pretty happy with everything that's been going on in that first quarter.
So first quarter stats, Champlain shot 9-15 for 60%. Dawson 4-17 for 23.5%. Rebounding 50-50 almost. However, Dawson with 7 offensive rebounds compared to the Cavaliers 2. Top point getters, Oliver was 7, Frost and Skelton with 5 each. And we talk about the Blues, Shatilia with 7, and we have 3 for Munka. But Aisha Dia, no points yet.
Yep.
You wonder if she can open up her account in the second quarter and really be the influential central character of this Dawson team.
Absolutely. I think Shatila has been the key player so far from Dawson. She's been really good at being an offensive threat at the three-point line, but also using her speed to get to the basket. She's been very versatile so far. Also, great job on defense. So she'll have to be very consistent to give her team a chance to advance to the Nationals as the #1 seed from Quebec.
We had 10 intriguing opening minutes. What will the next 10 bring here? The game's still in the balance with these two teams. It's been a peach of a start for the Cavaliers. The Blues trying to wreck it in the second quarter of play to get back to parity. And back with this Munka. Here's Bailey. She's had quite an influence on possession of the basketball, watched by Diop. Swung out, coming through again. Hunt, almost a giveaway, and back out to Bailey with 6 left in the shot clock. Going to her left. No look pass. Munka through the jungle. Blocked by Flergin, but a foul. So right now we're starting to see the referees really call this closely when it comes to those close contact plays inside the paint.
Exactly, almost another block from Flergin. She's been very good at moving her feet and staying in front of her player to make sure that she gets those clean blocks.
Munka back at the free throw line once more, shooting from the line this year 75%. And Flergin will be taken off. She's on 2 fouls. She had foul issues against Momo and Vanier last week. And Munka misses on that first attempt. So far, they are 4 of 9, the Blues, from the free throw line. 5 lost points. They're down by 9 of 22-13. And here's Munka's second attempt. Hits on that one, 22-14 lead, 9:38 left in this first half. Sato will bring it back up court. She's pressured, switch of play up to Oliver on the right wing. And she will back up, looking for options. How's Sato? Thought about the 3, negotiating through. Frost, quick hands from Bailey. And it goes out of bounds, and it goes back to the Blues, and they have had the quick hand so far. 21 steals against Momo, which was their high during the regular season. Here is Munka. Back out to Hunt. Bailey facing up against Diop, looking for options. A strong side to her right. Back out to Hunt on the near side. Sidecar pass does not work for Hunt. Going towards the end line. Oliver on her. Looking, fadeaway. Absolutely beautiful, but couldn't get the finish on that, and it goes back to the Cavaliers.
Yeah, and I think we've seen that spark from Dawson, but not finishing those easy baskets are going to be costly down the line.
Frost now back towards the net. Oliver, she's been the top hitter for the Cavaliers. Going to her left against Cruikshank. Difficult shot. Nylon! 24-14 lead for the Cavaliers. Biggest lead of 10 right now. 8:35 left. Bailey can't get that to go through. 2 easy, high percentage shots for the Blues. Unable to go through, and it could, from your perspective, Gab, as a player, it could add up as frustration being so close but yet so far.
Exactly. Just in field goal percentage, we can see right here the comparison of 23% for Dawson against 60 for Champlain. So it's really a matter of not how many shots in total you take, but the amount you finish. And so far, Champlain has been almost close to perfection first half.
We talk about first-class defending right now. The Blues have been that so far. When it comes to their press, they've been Centurion-like almost. And a 5-second violation as Sato was caught in 2 minds. And the sea of blue rising for Dawson as they get the ball back and a 14-second shot clock deep in the Champlain territory. And back with it is Christine Giraldo in for the first time. Open 3 for Cruikshank. Off the heel. Rebound right to Cummings. And that goes off of Diaz's foot. And again, with them down by 10, the Blues, Aisha Dia will have to be much more influential and be a crucial importance to give the tonic required to get back in this ball game.
Dia is an amazing player as reading and having her hands, always in the passing line. So she's really be a key factor for Dawson throughout this entire season.
Back out to Frost. Here is Sauda from the center arc. Cruikshank on her. Dancing this way, going that way, to the right side. Finger roll too strong. Rebound, Dia. They got numbers in their favor as they push it up the court. Dia going coast to coast. A beautiful finish. A silky player with a silky finish, and now a 24-16 lead. And Frost will bring it back up with Dia on her. Back out to Sada, watched by Giraldo. She's got 3 to her right, and we'll give it back to Diop in the orbit territory. Going to her right, looking towards the left. Still in possession. Oliver now will take over as the maestro. 5 left in the shot clock. Oliver from South Shore. Off the glass, nowhere near connection. Rebounded by Owen LaFontaine. And now she will gallop up ahead, looking for a cutter. Oh, she bamboozled the Cavalier defense. And another missed layup by the Blues as they were dead to rights, the Cavaliers. And right now, Gab, that's 6 lost points inside the paint.
Exactly. Like I've just mentioned a couple of minutes earlier, those are the type of shots you've seen. They created great chances for themselves, but just unable to finish. Is it nervousness? Is it just, playing not on your basket, having the advantage throughout the entire playoffs of playing at home? That's sometimes something that you get to get used in the first half. Just those rims sometimes are a bit different from what you're used to at home. So we'll see if they do have a better touch.
Second quarter plus minus is plus 34 for Champlain. Dawson is even in the second quarter, and right now they're down by 8 in this period of action. Oliver, watched by Hunt, now going to her left. Looking for the cutter, finds it. Skelton off the glass and in. Back up 10, 26-16 for the Cavs. Giraldo will bring it back up court. What does Trevor Williams have up his sleeve in the bag of tricks for the Blues? Looking for their 3rd provincial title in the last 5 years. They lost to St. Paul on their home court 2 years ago. Here is a jab move. LaFontaine, 4 left. LaFontaine splits. LaFontaine finishes. And an absolute sizzler on that finish, 26-18. Oliver, watched by Shatilia on the near side. We're going towards the opposite end, oozing with confidence. Looking to find an outlet. She goes to Cummings, and that is now a jump ball and a dive for the ball. And we're seeing a similar pattern here with Dawson. The moment that Champlain crosses over midfield stripe, they're double teaming the ball carrier.
Yeah, and even just from that last play on Shatila, she's not even putting double pressure on Oliver. She's just right in her face. So Oliver has to make sure that she does not lose control of the ball. So it prevents her to really stay put and kind of get an offense going. Because as a point guard, that's her role. So she has to say out loud those plays and make sure that the players do follow what she says. So by having a lot of pressure from Shatila, she kind of slowed that down. And on that last play, even got a turnover out of it. So that's something that Dawson is very good at, putting a lot of pressure and keeping you out of what you want to run easily.
So far, again, Champlain keeping a high clip at 58% shooting, 11-19. The Blues, 26% shooting, 6-23. However, 5 missed free throws. But if they can get that up with the way they've been rebounding the ball so far, that could be the X factor in why they get back in this matchup.
Exactly. We could be, from a 2-point difference game away and not a 8-point deficit.
That's the voice of Gap Hébert Mocon here in St-Lambert, Quebec, the 2022 gold medal game. Off the back, Giraldo will get to it. 3-on-1 for the Blues and given away. So both teams, Dia does it, and she cleans up on aisle 6 for her 4th point of the evening, 26-20. And this game has brought a new edge on defending by the Blues.
Exactly. Dia has such long arms. She's always touching those balls. So the Champlain players need to be careful and make sure they use more bounce pass when they're around her.
Souders 3. Easy on the eye for the 3 and a 29-20 lead. And for the Cavaliers, that's your 5th triple of this half. And for the year, on average, they make 5 threes per game. So they're already at their average for this evening. Diaz swings it back out to Hunt from the center arc against Frost. Popped up, stolen by Sauda. And with 5:25 left here in this first half, Champlain looking to go back up by double digits. And now Rayo, watched by Owen. Owen with the quick hands. And she now hooks on Rayo. And that will be the 2nd team foul on the Blues of this quarter. And this will be Champlain ball on the side out, a new 14. And now coming in the game is Charmella Reed, who in fact against the Blues, against the Cavaliers, had 12 points, which was the highest against the Cavaliers when they played back in November. And now it is Skelton. Rayo with Shatila on her. Quick hands. Owen read that well. 3-on-1. Left wing she comes. And an absolute clinical finish by her. And that was a forensic touch. And now 29-22 lead. And the Blues keeping a bite on the basketball here in this first half. Sauda to the right wing she goes. Watched by Bailey, back out to Rayo. Into the teeth it comes, right to Frost. Facing up, jumper from 17. Off the rim, no good, rebound Blues. And away comes Bailey, she's feeling it. LaFontaine's three, she's fizzing it. And a big triple, 29-24 lead, another three, so a two-pointer.
Yeah,
and the Blues are back in this game here, Gab.
Exactly, on the last play, we've seen Champlain trying to cover the fast pace of Champlain, so going towards the ball and then leaving all open.
And now you wonder if momentum's going to the team in blue with the way things have played out the last few minutes of action.
I think exactly, Cavaliers going to have to make sure that they do stay composed and not getting too emotionally. You know, Dawson is putting a lot of pressure on defense, and from a former player who's played against Dawson, sometimes it really gets emotional, and they're very good at keeping you out of what you want to do, out of your gameplay.
Splash! Owen is feeling it. She's fizzing it. She's showing the confidence and arrogance required, and now it's back to a two-point lead for the Cavaliers. Frost denied, out of bounds. 29-27 lead. 3:51 left here, and Oliver comes back in, and you wonder, Gab, for the Champlain Cavaliers, the missing piece of Flaurgin has really made things a lot easier for the Blues to attack and stretch out the Champlain defense.
Exactly. They've been much better, first of all, at finishing towards the basket. So, yeah, a good balance of inside and outside shots. I think they do have the speed, they do have the strength and the power to go to the rim against that team. And now if they start to make those outside shots as well, we're going to have a nail-biter till the end.
Dawson is on a 9-3 run of the last few minutes of play here from St-Lambert, and now 29-27 lead. And for the Cavaliers, they've taken a blow to the jaw. West Georgia Mouse telling his troops in that huddle right now with them up by 2 late in this first half.
I think a key element here is to not be afraid to go against that aggressiveness as Dawson has displayed in the last few plays. So they'll have to, like I've mentioned, they try to keep you out of your system, out of what you're able and you're comfortable to do. So I think for Champlain, a key factor is going to stay posed, stay composed, do the small things, and also help each other. So a lot of screens, ball against, also away from the ball, because Dawson is doing a lot of, when they're on defense, they do a lot of switch. So Champlain's going to have to make sure that they do recognize it and use it in their advantage. For example, with Debula, who is a big player, she has a lot of handle, so she needs to recognize when she goes against a smaller player and get those baskets down the key.
Rayo back out to Debula in the right corner pocket. She's got space, going up, and Dia and Lanafa cleans up off the Dia.
It's almost
denial.
like I predicted that play.
And Dia has been everywhere. She's been telescopic with her arms and legs so far. Dawson has been shooting the three-point ball better of late. Their best was 60% against Lennoxville. No look. Chatila can't finish. Lanafa with the rebound, and back up to Oliver in a 31-27 lead. And Shatila will bring it back and watching Oliver towards the left wing. Lanafa's on 4 points. Looking for Debula in the paint. She drives through the paint. And again, Bailey showing the active hands, and the pass lane's looking like it's miniature for the Cavaliers to get that ball to the next player in line.
Exactly. Dawson's, they do have a lot in all of those passing lines. So that's why you need to use fake. You need to fake the ball. You need to fake passes to make sure that when your player gets it, it's out of Dawson's hand.
And a crasher buys into the signage, and this will remain Champlain ball with 3:11 left in this quarter, 7 left on the shot clock. Champlain's got an overload to the left of the formation with LaFontaine and Skelton, and Hunt, or I beg your pardon, Reed on Debula. Backdoor Lanafa gets it, and shorts. Quick trigger she was, but couldn't finish it off, and now we're at 3 minutes left. Here's Bailey. Euro. Bailey fouled and will go to the line for 2 coming up here. Hans Bailey, 4 games led the team in assists, had 4 against Lennoxville. The second leading scorer on the team, 35% field goal shooter, and now at the line for the first time, and she has shot only 52% from the line this season.
Yeah, great job by Bailey on that last drive. Really recognizing the pressure is coming down the key, from a pretty tall player with Debula. So she just took a sidestep to make sure that she get that contact, but not a block. And then she connects with those 2 free throws.
For the year, Dawson's never shot over 80% from the free throw line as a team, and they've done better in this quarter. They're down by a deuce, 31-29. Oliver going left, going that way, this way, and that away for the 2. And now a 33-29 lead, and that was an enterprising attack by Chloe Oliver, back up 4. Reed with it, down to Dia. Here is Bailey against Rayo. Up. And no good. Rebound Reed. Elbows her way through. Gets it back. And a whistle and a walk. And you wonder, Gab, if maybe that was a foul administered on Bailey, who was hacked at the elbow, but no call.
Exactly. I think they were all contact on that last play. But luckily for the Cavalier, no calls.
Skelton. Splash. Absolutely diamonds. 36-29. And just like that, Champlain back up 7 in this quarter with 2:15 left.
Exactly. It hurts on Dawson, who's getting a bit of momentum, coming down from a great run, and Champlain answering back on the last few plays.
Whistle on the play, 2:09 left here in this quarter. Gababert and Mocon. It is a 36-29 lead for the Cavaliers over the Blues. And now we'll have a cue of about 9 buys in the paint. And back out to Dia from the free throw line. That's absolutely fundamental basketball. Almost a training exercise right there. And now a 36-31 lead, Oliver on the ball. South of 2 to go in this first half. Chatila on Oliver, backing up against her. Post play Debula into the jungle. She goes, I guess, the Himalayan mountains, and she's hacked by the dreadnoughts of the Blues, and she will go to the line for the first time today. Led the team in blocks twice, had 4 against Dawson back in November, and shot 41% from the field goal range this year. And Debula hits in that first one. And for the free throw attempts, we talk about that, Gab. Champlain is number 2 again in the conference, but they missed 22 in the last 2 games, but they've hit 2 in a row right now.
We're not going to jinx it and just not talk about it.
No, we can't. 38-31 lead for the Cavs. Here is Dia. 1:42 left in this half. Bailey, jab stepping, post play. Dia from the left corner, back out. Open 3 from the center arc. Splash! Absolutely nylon for Chatila, who's had a marvelous game for the Blues, and a 38-34 lead for the Cavs. Debula from the right wing, facing up. Here is Lanafa. Sidecar pass out to Rayo, swung open. Oliver open from downtown. Rims out. Rebound right to LaFontaine. She had the hot hand earlier in this quarter, and with 1:05 left, they're down by 2 baskets. Nice move. Bailey, handle and a whistle, and that will be a foul on Debula. And that will put Champlain at 4 team fouls. Dawson at 3 for this quarter. And it is only standing room crowd here at St-Lambert. So non-shoot for the Blues, 1:03 left. Chatila, head fake. Chatila, beautiful execution. Adding a nice policy on that, and now a 38-36 lead with 55 ticks to go. Sauda and Dia, the big central figures of this attacking fronts for both teams. Here's Oliver, back out. Sauda over Dia. Nylon! And that was a tough shot there, Gab.
Yeah, that was a very quick release. Having, those tall hands just in front of her from Dia. Great job by focusing and just staying in rhythm on that last shot.
40-36 lead. 28 seconds left here in this quarter. Here is Bailey, post play Reed, going to her right, now to her left, back to the right, blocked by Cummings, repelled out of bounds with 20.8 left on the big clock, 8 left on the small clock. And this will be Dawson ball, 40-36 lead, and now it appears the Gassam will come in for the Blues. And going off will be Reed with 20.8 left. So probably one last roll of the dice perhaps for the Blues, unless otherwise. Here is Dia. Chatilia. High-low, Dia into the teeth. Back out. going through. 2 left on the shot clock, and lacking the cutting edge on that possession, and it goes back to Cavaliers.
Yeah, I don't think they noticed that they were only 7 seconds left on the shot clock. So they did not get a good quality shot to end the quarter.
Timeout called by the Cavaliers. And now for the last roll of the dice, a 40-36 lead. If you have to gauge the momentum arrow, who's it pointing towards, going towards the team talk at halftime?
I think the end of that quarter is going to be a good indicator, I think, of the remaining of the game. Dawson has a smaller lineup on the floor to end that quarter. So it's going to be interesting to see if Champlain do take advantage of that, maybe having Fleuget back on offense for that last sequence. We'll see if they do take advantage of this, but for sure ending that quarter on a basket would give a good
It could change the script of this game here if Dawson comes up with a big stop or Champlain Ward to score going to the team talk. And right now we do have an intriguing final 8 seconds of play here. Gababert Mocon on Cavs TV. Champlain up 40-36, looking for their first ever Quebec championship. They've lost 13 straight games to the Blues. Their last win against the Blues was in the 2015 third place game at Montmorency, which they won. And since then, it's been all Dawson in this battle here. It's been one-way traffic. Here's a long ball. Lenafa gets it barely, and now 6 seconds left. Jump ball arrow going the other way towards Dawson. So Champlain played the high risk of the deep ball like a quarterback, but it came up empty on the reception.
Exactly. When you do have a safety with Dia on your team, you got to make a pretty solid pass to get past her.
Bailey at the death, short. And at the end of the first half, Champlain 40, Dawson 36. Game is still in the balance. Stay tuned here for more action on Cavs TV. So we negotiated with his agents after how many years, and he's back in the old nest. Coach Peter Yiannopoulos back here at halftime. Coach, welcome back into the saddle. And it's like these fans heard you were coming. They all showed up in droves.
I don't know if they're here because of me, Mo, but it's great to be back home where I played and graduated in 1995. Wow, time flies. But it's great to be back here. This has been home for me as a player, as a coach, as a broadcaster sitting next to you. So I miss you, brother. Glad to be back.
Likewise, my friend. Let's put on your analyst hat now. Your thoughts on the first half, how it's gone. It's been like a boxing match, body blow after body blow. Champlain up by 4 going towards the second half.
Listen, it's an incredible atmosphere. It's sold out, and I think there's more people that just keep coming in. And to see local basketball here, especially CJ basketball that I absolutely love and adore. It's just incredible. But the atmosphere here has not disappointed the play on the court, right? Or the play on the court has disappointed the fans as well. The intensity here is incredible. Two great teams, well-coached teams. I think that Champlain came out on fire from 3, hitting 3 out of 4. I think getting the lead at home was important for them. There's no question that Champlain has to control tempo and has to control the basketball because Dawson presses you man-to-man full court. And we've seen in the first quarter they were able to control the tempo. In the second quarter, we've seen a couple of more turnovers as they're starting to wear down the Champlain guards. So I think that's going to be important in the third and the fourth quarter. Can Champlain control the basketball, not turn it over, and keep getting quality shots? I don't think Dawson played their best half offensively, but they've really stepped it up defensively. They try to get the ball into the post, but they hit some key shots here late in the second quarter that's made this a closer game.
What would do, we know Dawson is the blue blood of this women's world of basketball in Quebec, but what would it do for Champlain if they are to win their first ever Quebec title under George Germano?
Oh, man, it'll be incredible. It'd be substantial in terms of Dawson has been, the authority for women's basketball. There's been some other good programs. Montmorency has been tremendous. St. Foy as well. I think the three of them combined have won the last, 25 provincial championships. But Champlain has been right there. And I think Champlain has become a model program on the women's side on what they do on the court, but what they do off the court. Just tremendous student athletes. Champlain develops great players. Champlain has sent players, so many, to the NCAA, to U Sports, and just look, there's about 40 alumni here cheering them on, but they're just missing that one championship, and I think they need it, they want it, I want it, everybody does that. It's Champlain blood, but it's going to be tough because they're two great teams, and Dawson's not just going to give it away. Playing at home helps, but sometimes that could hurt because the expectations go a little bit higher.
Well, they both have their tickets booked for Nanaimo, BC at VIU for the Nationals. Well, we know that. We got another 20 more minutes left of intriguing basketball. If there's one key X factor, we have the Uniopolis 5, a tradition unlike any other, but you mentioned rebounding and controlling the tempo here. Do you think Nurse could be a factor with both teams very young for the bulk of the roster right now that they have?
Well, if I'm Dawson, Diop is just incredible. The length that she has, and she covers so much ground on the defensive end. I think she's going to need to step up a little bit on the offensive end. And I mentioned earlier, Dawson with 36 points. I think their head coach and my good friend Trevor Williams, he wants them in a position to try and close this out on the road on a hostile environment. I think Champlain's going to have to keep hitting those three-point shots, control the ball. Chloe Oliver is just outstanding. I think that she has the ability to take over this game. It's going to be a real fight till the end. Champlain would like to have a larger cushion, but again, these are two great teams. I anticipate this going down to the wire, maybe in overtime, Volkan. A little extra work for you again, Volkan.
Well, Coach, I appreciate it. I won't take up too much time. You guys sent autographs for the hundreds upon hundreds of the Uniopolis fans that came out for you today. Coach, thank you so much for joining us here, my man.
Thanks, Mo. Have a great call second half.
Yes,
Enjoy the games
and
and keep supporting CJ basketball.
And we'll see you on RDS soon enough, my friend.
And the referees have been outstanding so far because we haven't talked about them.
So far. We'll see the second half.
They're doing a good job. It's a great game.
All
Thank
right,
you, Bo.
take care, Peter. Welcome back here to Cavs TV as we get ready for second half action. Cavaliers, Mo Khan from St-Lambert, Champlain campus. As we are down to the final 20 minutes, maybe more. It is Champlain 40, Dawson 36. Champlain, Gab, shot 16 of 29 in the first half. Dawson 13-34. What caught your attention from the first half stats?
Yeah, I think from Dawson, we've seen a bit more individual plays from them. So far less assist plays leading to opening players and also creating more crafty stuff. So I think Dawson's players are going to have to work a bit more as a team if they want to get more quality shot from what we've seen. Obviously, offensive boards has been very dominant on Dawson in this first half. And also not getting into foul trouble. We've seen them, being very aggressive, putting hands a bit everywhere, getting a lot of steals, especially in that first half. So they're going to have to make sure that they do contain that aggressiveness and use it wisely. As for St-Lambert, we've seen great plays on both sides of the court, great sequence with some blocks on defense, and also a good balance from outside and inside opportunities and shots that were falling in from the three-point line as well.
Of course, talk about what has happened so far. Free throw shooting, Champlain only 2 of 2. Dawson 7 of 12 in the first half. We'll see in the second half how this plays out. We're through 20 with perhaps 20, if not more, left. A lot of edge, a lot of jeopardy. This game is full of dare. The question now is who will come up with the gold medal wrapped around their neck here in this second half. We talk about how games were. And last time they played each other, Dawson went on a 25-9 run to end off the first half. Not the case this time. A much closer score here. And we'll see now how this is played out with these two teams.
Exactly. Even if Champlain has, had the momentum and were in advance for the most part of that game, I think Dawson has been very good at having also their spark moment throughout that game.
And Flargent with a spark moment right there, and a 42-36 from a skeleton pass on the high-low, and back up 6. Here is Bailey, strong, no good. Rebound right to Dawson. Shatila negotiates, looking, pirouettes, and authors off the bank of the glass and in a 42-38 lead. Whistle on the play, though. A magnificent play by Shatila.
Exactly. Even though she's a pretty small player, she really has a good ability to read into the defense and make sure that she gets control and stays stabilized with her feet to wait for the defender to make the first move, and then she attacks the basket very well.
Rayo, post-play Fargent, she was very quiet with 2 early fouls. Facing up, whistle on the play, and that will stop it, and a foul will be on Dawson here with 9:16 left in this third quarter. Dawson in this quarter is plus 41. Champlain plus 59. Owen called for an early foul, her second personal. And it will be Champlain ball with 9:16 left here in this quarter. Flargent facing up now, posting up again. Shatila into the paint she goes. And tripped up, and a marché by her. And that is a turnover. We talked about turnovers in the first half. Champlain had 14 compared to the 10. They only averaged about 21 a game.
Great job recognizing by Flargent. She's been mashing up against a much smaller player and trying to take advantage, but opportunity tripped on the floor.
Bailey, switch of play. Owen, back out. Shatila thought about the 3-0, drop it back out to Dia. Driving, showing the confidence, looking, pivoting, fade away, no good. And a rebound right to Rayo. Somehow got it through a sea of blue, and we'll bring it back up court. And we'll drop it back out to Sauda, who had a pretty efficient first half, and a 3 from the center arc. Nylon! Absolutely diamonds on that. Cash money, 45-38 lead.
She's such an efficient player, really calm, but play with so much confidence.
And Dawson is number 3 at defending the 3 in the conference, but unfortunately today, they've given up 7 triples on 12 attempts. And that will be a foul on Skelton, her first personal. Now Diop comes in for the Cavs for Rayo. And both teams, Champlain mostly doing more subs early on in this matchup. Bailey swings it out to the near side. Here is Shatila against Diop in the paint. Looking, backing, That's well off the mark. Loose ball right to Dawson. 5 left on the shot clock, and that is blocked out of bounds, repelled into the blue padding of the end court.
Yeah, Florent is really the general of that key. She's not letting any shot passing her beside her easily.
5th block of the evening. 2 left on the shot clock. Dia to death. And that will be Champlain ball. Play on, they say. And the Cavs are back up.
Great recognition here by Dia. Even though it was not a good quality shot, it could have ended up being an offensive rebound just by hitting the rim. So good job by her recognizing that.
Sauda against Bailey. Spin move, short, rebound, second bite of the cherry. Oliver, 3 from the flats. Off the heel, rebound, sky up there is Owen, and she'll bring it back up court as she now will glide her way through to the right side, and right to Owen it comes. Open 3 from Westmount. Splash! 45-41 lead, and now that is the 4th triple for the Blues in this game. And a crash of by Dia taking a bump, and she still carries on. Skelton with it. Driving towards her right. Into the jungle and stolen. Well defended by the Blues. Here comes Bailey all by herself. Watched by 3 gray uniforms. Can't finish. Rebounded by Sauda. And a down blue, and that is Shatila, who's slow to get up here. And it is a war of attrition, Gab, of the collisions that we've seen with these two teams going for every loose ball available on the courts.
No, exactly. I don't think we've seen exactly who did Shatila run into, but it's always something that you don't want to see, even as a, you know, an ex-player. A head injury is always something that you don't want to see into a final game, especially from a player who's so far has played an outstanding game.
Absolutely. And Shatila gets off looking like she's okay on 12 points, 4 of 7 shooting coming into the quarter. And if you look at the deeper numbers here, when we talk about points given up, Dawson was the only team to score 75-plus points against Champlain. They're at 41 right now, and it looks like from a projection number that 75 might be the borderline crossing to get this gold medal around their necks. And Oliver, who has been simply a centurion out there, a general, both ends of the court, back at the reins, a maestro. Here's Florent backing up against Bailey, post into the paint, strong and too strong on the finger roll, and Bailey will bring it back up court with options abound to her right and her left. And she'll play it back out. Here's a 3 from the center arc. Back heel, missed this on by Monka, and diving out there's Diop with 6:37 left. And it'll be Dawson ball, and it remains in the Blues' possession. So the Blues still lurking around here, unable to get that tie-in basket and that go-ahead basket. As so far, the Cavs have led from start to present. Kick out Owen. Watched by Sauda, giving her the left side. She'll take it. Jab step, 3. Back heel, rebound right to Florent. And she'll bring it back up court, looking for options. Open, Sauda, breakaway. Easiest layup in her career.
Great job by Sauda. Just getting behind her defender. Quiet as she's always, but efficient with that quick finish. 5
times led the team in scoring, had 25 against St. Jean to end off the season, and opens up her second half account. 47-41 lead. Bailey dancing, looking, pivoting, back towards the net, trying to find an outlet. Here's Owen, 4 left on the shot clock, behind the back, looking from 17, and that is off the range, and possession that lacked any ingenuity. And it goes back to the Cavaliers.
Exactly. LaFontaine tried to get just a little contact, you know, from a play that if we've seen a bit of a Steph Curry technique, just trying to get that quirky shot to maybe get a foul, but no call. Great job by Sauda, just staying in front of her.
Owen couldn't stop that, but Oliver does as she comes through on the basket, and a 49-41 lead for the Cavs over the Blues. Dawson taking a blow to the jaw here, looking for their own body blow to get back in this matchup. Bailey will drive right against Diop. Strong, fouled, and free throws coming up here for Bailey in this sequence.
Bailey using her speed very well on both sides, even on the right on the left side of the court, and she's great at going into the defender and using that contact to get a foul.
Frost in the game as Diop will go off. Champlain won by 17 against St. Jean to end off the year. 7 times they scored 72-plus points in a matchup. And right now they're at 49. Dawson at 41. Bailey at the line once again, and she's short. Rebound right to Bailey. They'll get a second bite of the cherry, and we'll play it back out to Dia in orbit. Owen, she wants the ball. She is a player that wants to change the dynamics, and she's fouled. And that may be Fleurgen's third foul. And what do you do if you're George Germanos with her on 3 fouls?
I think, as we've seen right now, Fleurgen needs to make sure that she does not go for that extra block like we've seen so far in the game. She's a very emotional player. She likes to get those flashy, sometimes defensive plays. So with 3 fouls, she needs to just keep it simple, move her feet, and just being a big presence down the key.
And moving her feet was Cruikshank on that shot. She gets that to go through. Made 17 field goals during the regular season. Now 49-43 lead. Rayo back on possession with 4:45 left here in this third quarter. Rayo gliding and will go to the line for 2. And showing a bit of a pace, injection of pace that is, here in the standing room only gym of St-Lambert, Quebec. Gab Hébert, Mo Khan on Cavs TV. Good news, Shatila back in the game for the Blues. 49-43 lead for the Cavs over the Blues. And the men's game between Thetford Mines and Dawson will tip off at 8:30 out in Thetford. I don't know if you've been to Thetford, Gab, but it's far away from here.
Yeah, and it's cold.
It's very cold. I would never be able to go out there. My skin would get very dry in that Thetford. And here is Rayo, cool as a cucumber, and hits on that free throw. 51-43 lead, and now for the game, Champlain, 8 of 13 from the free throw line.
Amazing improvement from what we've seen in the past 2 games.
Open 3 from the corner pocket, missed by Dawson, denied by Cummings. Out of bounds it goes, as Cruikshank had that shot autographed by Shamik Cummings. And with 11 left on the shot clock, Dawson ball. Shatila did not hit the 3 initially, and now with it is all Owen. Back out to Dia, a 3 from downtown, no good on that. Right to Cruikshank, looking underneath, short, out of bounds. 3, now 2 left on the shot clock, and now shoot on sight here for the Blues. And who will be the lucky recipient to have that honor to try that shot?
Exactly, we'll have to make sure that we keep that key packed, not to give any quick 2s. As the ball is
now officially inbounded.
Exactly. So that gives Champlain a big of a...
And a foul will be called. And that was what you call getting trucked is Cruikshank by Skelton. And this will be Dawson foul. So add insult to injury for Cruikshank. She got ran over. That gets her 2nd foul of the day. And it will be Frost, the inbounder. Looking for an outlet, finds Souda. Now we're seeing the press once more, perhaps a light version of it by the Blues, trying to take off the speed of the Cavaliers.
Exactly. They put a lot of pressure, actually, not as much when the ball is inbound, but to prevent it from getting inbound easily to the point guard. So they're trying to slow down the play when it's still out of bounds.
And Trevor Williams, a bit bamboozled by that call. I think everyone was thinking that was going to be a charge on Caitlin Frost, but now here she is at the free throw line. The 3rd leading scorer, made 43 field goals this year. And now the free throw attempt, and she misses. In the second half last time against the Blues, they were 13 of 18 from the line. They shot 9 of 40 in the second half. And they hold an 8-point lead in this game here. So a brand new effort for the Cavs against the Blues. And the second attempt is good. So 1 for 2, a 52-43 lead. Gab, at what point will the Blues start rolling the dice here to kind of get this deficit to a more easier target going to the 4th quarter?
I think the sooner is the better. They really need to get that spark, get a bit of momentum by either driving to the basket and creating more open shots.
Here's an open shot.
So far.
Shatila Nylon. Absolutely fizzing for her. Her 17th point of the game and a 52-46 lead. And just like that, they're down by 6 points.
That was a much-needed basket from Dawson.
Skelton, well off the range. That ball headed towards the Pacific Ocean, that is. And now Rayo trying to get that back from Owen. And Jayla Owen will slow it down, looking for options. And swung out. Dawson's got 5 behind the 3-point line. Here's a 3 from Owen. Back heel, rebound Skelton. And Champlain avoids disaster. And Skelton is fouled by Shatila. And you can start seeing the frustration picking up here for Trevor Williams and the Dawson Blues.
Especially with Champlain being in a bonus situation. So going down to the line, even if it's not a foul that is going towards the basket, that could be very painful. With the stop also, with the clock stopping and kind of preventing Dawson to get a bit of momentum.
And it will be Skelton at the line. She misses on that attempt, 52-46 lead. So Champlain has 3 team fouls. Dawson has 5 team fouls. 3:19 left here, and now we're starting to see probably the hiccups popping up here for the Cavs on the free throw line. They've missed now 3 in this quarter, and Skelton looking to go 1 for 2, and she does. And now it's back up to a 53-46 lead. A touchdown score 7, and Chloe Oliver back in for Rayo. And right now it's been the point guards, Owen and Oliver, the 2 O's that have been providing the excitement for both teams.
And the Cavalier also coming out of that last free throw with a press. So interesting to see how Dawson reacts to it and kind of get their offense rolling a bit out of the rhythm that we've seen so far.
Pirouette, Monka is fouled and will go to the line for 2 shots here with 3:02 left. Champlain on their 4th team foul, 1 away from the bonus is the Blues.
A great scenario for Dawson from the last sequence of an offense, not going, anywhere that much.
And now at the line it's Monka. So far today, 4 points, 5 rebounds, and now she is 0 for 1 from the free throw line. And with 3:02 left, Champlain's got Skelton and Lanafa down high in the Dawson territory. Owen and now Krugshak make their way back. A big free throw here for Monka. And she misses. Rebound Caitlin Frost. And she will bring it back up court. Watch closely this time by Gossam, and back out to Oliver it comes. Going towards her left, backing up. Swung out to Lanafa. Down to the corner pocket it comes. Here's Frost on the end line. Short, and she is fouled. And now, Gab, we're starting to see Caitlin Frost really influence the game with her length, attacking the rim and creating foul shots for herself.
Absolutely not being hesitant at all. Really going hard to the basket. And as a lefty, we've seen Dawson forcing those players from Champlain going towards their left hand to prevent them from being very comfortable when they go towards the basket. So they'll have to make sure that they do recognize that Frost is actually a left-handed player. So she's getting advantage out of that strategy.
And now we'll see what happens in the next strategy coming up here, a 53-46 lead. And for Dawson, the reach track's still there, but it started to shrink here in the third quarter as we see the stats now of what it's been so far. 20 of 37 shooting for the Cavaliers. They shot 4 of 8 in this quarter, 50%. Dawson now shooting pretty much 5 of, if my math is right, 18. So they're not shooting the ball well here at Dawson. They got to find their stroke. They have to have the license to shoot, and they've not done well yet with that ability so far in this quarter.
No, exactly. And from Champlain, we've seen 3 players now in double digit. Those star player really, really performing tonight, as we've seen a quieter night from Dia, who has been one of the key players for Dawson. So she'll have to step up and make sure in that fourth quarter she give her team a chance to come up with the win.
And Frost short on that. If there is one thing for the Blues that could be their passport to victory, 18 offensive rebounds. They average about 39 per game. They had 71 against Edouard Montpetit. They're at 30 right now, and now they're down by 8, 54-46, 2:45 left. And now a press by the Cavaliers. Frost at the head of this press. Owen tripped up. It's Frost and a foul. And Trevor Williams not happy about that, as it appeared maybe a ghost had gotten Caitlin Frost on the trip.
Sometimes you can't explain, what referee is just seen, but having the momentum, having, Dawson team very, very aggressive, that has added to the call we've just seen.
Aisha Dia back in the game for the Blues. Here's Cummings. Skelton driving. She's got the license, the marauding ability. She can't finish, and here come the Blues buccaneering their way through. Creekshank will circle the wagons and back out to Owen. And Owen will definitely fancy some more shots here. Here's Dia driving towards the right. Back out to Owen in the left wing. Watched by Skelton, the 1v1. Going towards her left. Owen driving to the right, into the paint. Owen back out. Open 3 from the far side flats. and missed by Dia, and a possession that comes up empty for the Blues, and Oliver tripped up by Cruikshank. And now Trevor Williams is starting to run into foul issues from a personal number for some of his players.
Absolutely. I think the Blues are going to have to make sure that they do contend their energy and also that aggressiveness that we've seen throughout the entire game, because now they do a lot of fouls away from the basket, and they just give Champlain good opportunity to get more points on the board.
Cruikshank has 4 personal fouls, and the bench could get shorter for Trevor Williams in this next quarter and a half. 55-46 lead. Champlain started to ask questions of Dawson. Dawson looking for the answers, but Champlain had continued to change the questions when they're on defense. And Lanafa using her telescopic arms to take that ball off of Owen. Owen a little bit flustered by that, wanting to see more movement, but it was more static from the Dawson attack.
And we've seen Champlain players really forcing her towards her left, as she always tries to go back on the right side. So for the defensive squad, it's much easier to contend that fast player.
Dia will play back out to Cruikshank on 4. She will have to play with caution. We're south of 145. Dia against Frost, looking towards her right. Stolen by Sauda out of bounds. And that will go out of bounds, intended for Sharmella Reed. And this will be Dawson ball, 7 left on the shot clock. And those shot clocks are starting to get smaller for the Blues every time it goes out of bounds.
Exactly. At least recognizing that the shot clock going down is crucial.
Owen underneath the basket. She had no idea.
No idea. As a point guard, that's something that you have to take control. You gotta know those things.
55-46 lead, 132 left, and now in the game will be Christine Giraldo back in for the first time in the second half. And for Giraldo, again, she has been a bench player, has made 9 field goals, shot 28% from the field, and now in the game, 55-46 lead. Shatila on Oliver, looking towards her right, back out to Tabula. Here is Frost from the center arc. Dia on her, high-low. Lanafa posting up with the hook. Too strong. Tabula can't get the rebound. And the two dreadnoughts, Reed and Tabula, going at it like bulls in the paint. And this will be Champlain ball with 14 left on the shot clock.
Good job by Tabula, not giving up on that play.
And it'll be Oliver on the inbound. There's a source of about 7 in the paint. Here's Sauda. Open 3 for Frost. She's hit 1 for the year. And it remains 1 for the year. Rebounded by the Blues as we approach 1 minute left. Dia, stolen by Frost. Oliver has it, dancing her way through. Here's Frost from the right wing, into the paint. Frost with the left and in for the 2. 57-46 lead, back up 11, the biggest lead for the Cavaliers.
Great job. I like to see the composure of both players really trying to get the best shot out of every possession.
Shatila from the center arc. It started off pretty, but ended ugly for her on that 3-point shot, and you wonder now if it's starting to wear on the Blues. Some of the big hitters not able to get that clean shot with strength that they desire.
Exactly. From that last moment where Shatila seemed to be a bit injured, she seemed a bit out of rhythm, not as confident, not as impactful as we've seen her throughout the entire game. So hopefully that injury is not causing her that trouble.
Dawson needs to mastermind a comeback here. Oliver off balance, no good. Rebound right to Tabula, saved by the Blues. And here comes Cruikshank, 18 left on the clock. Dia, 2-on-1. Strong, denied, repelled by Sauda, who has looked like Kawhi Leonard out there for the Cavaliers on both ends of the court against Dia, who is a monster for the Blues.
Absolutely. Great comparison.
Shatila has it from the flats. 10 left on the game clock. Dia, head fake, open shot. Missing on the side rim. Tabula, 5 left. Oliver's got 3 seconds left. Oliver dancing at the death. Well played by Shatila. And we're through 30. Champlain 57. Dawson 46. Stay tuned here for fourth quarter action. Could Champlain win their first ever D1 title? Or will Dawson pull the smash and grab? Stay tuned here on Cavs TV. Welcome back here to Cavs TV. Gab Hébert, Mo Khan. Fourth quarter action here from St-Lambert, Quebec. Champlain up by a score of 57-46 over Dawson. Gab, what caught your attention? Dawson 4-22 for the third quarter. Champlain 5-14. Not the most elegant shooting by both, but what else caught your attention?
Exactly. Lowest scoring quarter for Dawson with only 10 points. So that's clearly something you do not want to see in a third quarter, especially playing away against the home team. So Dawson's going to have to make sure that they go back to the easy stuff, driving to the basket, finding those open players, after a penetration, and not forcing any shots. As for Champlain, I think it's just sticking to game plan. Not forcing any turnovers like we've just seen in that first sequence. So I think a good balance of inside and outside shot is going to be key to maintain that lead.
Geraldo is impeded, and that will be the first foul on Champlain in this quarter. 9:45 left here in this period. And then for this fourth quarter, Dawson's plus 13, Champlain plus 45 in the point differential.
Exactly, and I believe that Dawson has had also their highest quarter in terms of personal foul. So something also they'll have to make sure that they be careful if they don't want to see their top players in trouble and having to sit on the bench.
Dia for three. She's on 6 points, still on 6. Rebounded by Flaugin, who had to sit out for the bulk of the third quarter with the foul issues she has. And you wonder if Dawson will attack her. Right now, Krushek has 4. She's on the court on the far side watching Sauda. Frost, sidecar pass, Skelton from the center arc. Looking towards the left wing. Here is Oliver. Open for 3. Back heel. Rebound, Sharmella Reed. And she had a monster game against the Cavs back in November. And back with is Geraldo as she will slow the pace down as Owen will get a quick breather, a respite for the time being. Dia. Here's Geraldo on the right wing, watched by Oliver. Post play is Shatila, and Skelton hooked onto her. And already, we're not even a minute through. 2 team fouls on the Cavaliers, and Germano's about to make the switch for Diop for Skelton.
Exactly. Could it be a reverse in that quarter with Dawson getting more to the free throw line and coming back into that game?
Almost stolen. Dia, spin move, open 3, online. And she will go to the line for 3 attempts here. And she's slowly growing into the game. The genius of Aisha Dia will have to be ever so much on the forefront to get the Blues back in this game down by 11.
Absolutely. Dia with a pretty low-scoring game tonight. Only 3 out of 11 coming down into that fourth quarter. So definitely she needs to continue taking her shots as she's a very confident shooter. And hopefully some more will fall in.
And that does not fall through for her. Now Dawson is only 8 of 17 from the free throw line. That's 9 missed points. Gab, what is the score line right now? A 10-point gap. Second attempt is good. And now it goes 57-48. If there's one thing Dawson has had, the monopoly in rebounds. Oliver's had the monopoly of play. Here's Diop. And Fatima Diop started 7 games, 7 field goals. A blue-collar player with a blue-collar play on the Dawson Blues in a 59-48 lead. Swung out to the far side. Looking around is Bailey. Trying to find a cutter. Finds Geraldo open in the left wing. Nice cross against Flaugin. Going up and over, and she's fouled and has been rewarded. Now the 3rd team foul on the Cavs, and we're only a minute 30 into this fourth quarter.
Yeah, we've seen a lot from those Dawson players being able to drive to the basket, but really attract the defender, waiting for them to make the first move and using the body and moving with their pivot foot to get to the basket. So great job by Dawson players to really stay stabilized and using that pivot foot.
Geraldo hits on both, a 77% free throw shooter, now 59-50 game. And the Blues are starting to chip away and are asking questions of the Cavaliers in the early part of the fourth quarter. Diop. And a giveaway as that ball had too much depth on that pass. And you wonder now if maybe the sweaty palms are ever more present on the Cavaliers' mindset than before.
Absolutely. On the last play, great recognition by Diop. That Flaugin, following that switch on defense, is against a much smaller player, but you have to make a smart pass.
And a smart pass right there, right to Dia, and a 59-52 lead. The Blues are starting to really come back in this game. They're now on a 6-2 run to start off this fourth quarter, and Champlain will need to come back with a response. 3 body blows by the Blues. Here is Flaugin facing up, kick out. Diop, and that's 2 back-to-back turnovers by Diop with 7:42 left. And if you're George Germanos, do you meet the sub? And it appears Cummins will come in for Diop, or now for Flaugin, beg your pardon. So Germanos now trying to change the dynamic, the DNA of his team's starting 5.
Exactly. Momentum is quite weird for a fourth-quarter final game. I think the tempo is a bit cheapy, and we've seen much more mistake from Champlain from what we've seen throughout the entire first minute of that game.
Giraldo, off balance, out of bounds. Dawson ball, 3 seconds left on the shot clock.
And luckily, no call on that last play. That was still a bit out of balance and not confident.
Giraldo, the inbounder. Here's Dia, the license to shoot, she does. And that is short and a shot clock violation. So one undone possession for the Blues. And with 7:16 left, it is starting to become a vice grip here for the Cavaliers. And Oliver being watched by Bailey. They had a good battle at Dawson back in November. And right now Oliver's had the upper hand in this matchup this evening. And backing up, and Bailey showing the tenacity and the endeavor to get that ball back. And George Germanos starting to see a little bit of wobble in the legs, and Rayo will come in the game for Oliver. With 7:02 left, it's a touchdown lead for the Cavaliers over the Blues.
Exactly. I think from what we've seen so far, Dawson is remaining very calm and confident in their game plan. They know they'll get their way. They'll come back in that game. They are a confidence team, also with experience in the final. So
Dia can't finish on that one. Rebounded by the Cavs, and the Blues cannot cash in on that mistake. And Rayo back with it over the logo plus side. Sauda, post play Cummings against Giraldo. Size mismatch. It's short. Cummings, second bite of the cherry. Can't finish. Third bite of the cherry. Can't finish. Frost, jump ball arrow. And this will be Dawson ball, and the Cavs have had chances in the first half. It was Dawson missing the easy at the lip baskets. Now Champlain is missing those easy baskets.
Cummings really needed that basket to give a bit of a breather to Champlain, who has had score in the last few minutes. So just continue, punch it in, and baskets will fall in.
Open, Cruikshank posting. She's short. Rebound, poked up. Recovered by Sauda. And with 6:18 left, it's back up ahead here to Rayo. Driving with confidence, and she will swing back out. Here is Frost. She's got the lane. Quick hands from Owen. Here they come, 2-on-1. Owen's got Shatila to her right. Bounce pass. Shatila! Oh my, she misses. Second attempt, she's fouled. So the miscue leads to a foul, but a hash of a moment here for Shatila. And for Oliver, she will come back in for Rayo. And now Dawson is in the bonus the rest of the way, and we're south of 6 in this fourth quarter.
Exactly. That's a big advantage for Dawson, already in a bonus situation. Champlain's going to have to make sure that they do control the ball, but they're not overly aggressive, giving Dawson easier basket to come back in that game.
And that goes to 59-54 lead in this quarter. Champlain has scored 2 points. Dawson has scored 8. And now it is starting to become a little bit more full of double jeopardy here. The edge ever so present. The question starting to be asked by the Dawson Blues as we're south of 6. And a whistle on Owen. And the first foul now going to the Blues. And Jayla Owen called for the foul. Her third foul, so she'll have to be a little bit more cautious to avoid the fourth foul too quickly.
Exactly. You don't want to see her go back on the bench. She's being a key player, putting a lot of energy and ball pressure.
Champlain rattled by Dawson's attacking in this fourth quarter. Frost, they're on 2 points as a whole. Here's Sauda for 3. Nylon! Absolutely genius moment for her, and that bag of tricks. And now 62-54 lead in a sigh of relief for the Cavaliers.
Absolutely, making Owen pace for getting her hands down, not putting pressure on the three-point line.
Oh, Dia using the dark arts of basketball on that jumper, and a 62-56 lead, back down to 6. Frost gets by Dia, chasing her, hounding her, open, Cummings, layup, short, layup again, and a jump ball, and Shamik Cummings has missed 4 easy baskets in the paint in this quarter alone.
Sometimes you get so easily into your head, missing those easy baskets, and then you get just a little too nervous. It's an easy basket on the right side. She's done that 1,000 times. But just that mentality factor, it's a crucial basket that gets onto your nerves.
Oliver from the left into the paint. Oliver, that's too strong. Flergen off balance, in for the 2. And the offensive rebound goes to the Cavaliers. And there's a reason why they're number 1 in the conference at 48 per game. 7 times they've had 50-plus rebounds, and that was a big one. 64-56 lead. Cruikshank, Bailey. Dawson's got 4 behind the three-point line. Bailey all by herself on the right wing against Skelton. Posting up. Can't find anything yet. Watching. Cruikshank jumper. That is short. Rebound right to Bailey, and that's denied. Rebounded by Flergen, and back up ahead of the Cavaliers. Looking to move it up as they maraud forward. Flergen pirouette and fouled. And she started the play, and now she'll end the play with 2 free throws coming up here with 4:22 left. And now Flergen at the line. Cruikshank is off. Munka comes back in for the Blues. Germano's talking to a tripod of players in Sauda, Skelton, and Oliver.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he tells his key player to make sure that they use the time wisely. Time is to the advantage of the team that has the highest points. So make sure that every time you go on offense, you get a good quality shot and try to use the shot luck as much as possible.
Rebounded by Dia off the miss from Flergen, 1 for 2, 65-56 lead. The Blues will have to now come up with some smash and grab plays and come up with some verve in their shot making so far. Post play denied, out of bounds. This will be Dawson ball, and we're starting to see now the rebounding edge start to become 50-50. But Dawson doing a much better job shooting the ball in this quarter.
Exactly, and Champlain has also been good at kind of reducing the attack from Dawson, really forcing all of the offensive players down to their left side where they're less comfortable, and it seems to be paying off.
Munka gets a second chance, and she's fouled and will go to the line, and Flergen might be the one who will get the foul. And now what does Germanos do with her on 4 fouls with 3:54 left, and the game's still in the balance, and free throws come up from Munka.
I think they need her to be on the floor. She's been very good throughout the last few minutes as giving her team a bit of grit and momentum. So I think he has a lot of confidence in her being able to control herself and make sure that she stays in the game.
Rebound Flergen on a 1 for 2. And now is Chloe Oliver looking to add some insurance policy to this lead as we're 3:45 left here in this ball game. Oliver dancing to the left, looking for the post of Flergen from the elbow. Against Shatila underneath. An absolute acrobatic and emphatic finish by her. A 67-57 lead for the Cavs. Bailey will go to the line, and that will be free throws come up here. And that's probably going to be their calling card. Free throws, stopping the clock, and hopefully hitting their free throw attempts.
Exactly, using their spin, going towards the basket. They've been doing it all night long and pretty successful at it. So they're going to use their speed. So Champlain needs to make sure that a player like Bailey doesn't come with full speed towards the basket.
And Dia does, and she cleans up an aisle 6 and a 67-59 lead. 3:19 left. Trevor Looms really wanted that timeout, but play on because it wasn't a scored or dead ball situation. Here is Oliver, the quarterback, looking for the killer pass. Flergen posting up against Shatila, denied by Shatila. And here come the Blues, stolen. Skelton gets it back, saved over the head of Flergen, and now it goes back to the Blues, and we're back to square one of the possession. From the logo, Dia has Munka, swung out to the near side. Bailey facing up against Skelton, looking towards the left, now to the right. Shatila inside the paint. No good, rebound, Munka blocked loose ball, and right to Skelton, and still alive, and no one has it yet, and finally Frost does, back up to Oliver with 2:28 left, and you wonder when will Dawson start going with the fouls. You got 3 more to give with 2:20 left.
Exactly. I think Dawson's going to try to go for the steal before the foul. But at one point, they'll have to try to do anything in their possession.
And they did right there. They get it back. 2:10 left. Dia, cross court. Munka from downtown. That's off the rim. Rebound. Bailey. Can't finish. Rebound. Flergen. 2 to go in this ball game. This could be the dagger that the Cavaliers are looking for. Clock is their ally. The enemy of the Blues. Skelton back towards against Shatila. Playing a 2-on-2 game. Gets by Shatila. Layup. It's good.
Absolutely outstanding in and out dribble by Skelton and going toward the basket where none of the Blues were even close to stop her from getting an easy basket.
Timeout called by the Blues. 69-59. Gab, you've been in this position before, playing at university and stage-up levels. It's a 10-point gap. It's a tall mountain to climb now for this Dawson team. How do they break it down here and try to get back in this game and really put a little bit more angst against the Champlain Cavaliers?
That's going to be a tough one to come back from with less than 2 minutes to play because they haven't shot that ball too much and very well from the three-point line. So I think relying on those 3 points is going to be a bit of a challenge for Dawson with having more success and using their speed and going towards the basket. So crashing the board like crazy, trying to get those N1s is going to be a key factor if they do want to try to come back in that place.
And of course, we'll have the player of the games at the end of the day. And right now, Champlain's got 3 players at 13-plus points. The Blues have 3 players at 12 points, 12-plus points. Shatila at 19 for the Blues. And now they're down by 10, and they'll have to come up with some sort of tonic to get back in this game down by 10. Right now, it's a utopian world for the Cavaliers, and they want to finish off this game here. They're looking to break down the door towards a championship, which will be the first ever in Division I. And they would join this Dawson Blues team, your St. Foy Dynamic, and the Nomads as champions of Quebec. Loose ball. A recovered by the Blues. Shatila jumper. That's short. It's not going in for the Blues. 90 seconds left. Stolen by Bailey. And now the Nerves are picking up. Owen for 3. Off the range. Loose ball saved. Another recycle of the possession for the Dawson Blues. Shatila into the paint. That does not go through. Dia fouled. It was one-way traffic. And now they're rewarded with free throws. But you wonder that so much time was taken off the clock. We're down to 1:14.
And absolutely, on that last play, Flergen getting her 5th foul. I mean, I know you want to make sure that no basket is scored, but as a key player like Flergen, you have to recognize those things. Yes, you have to be able to sacrifice for the last play, but on that last shot, I think it was maybe not her best decision to really go all out for that big block.
And now she's done for the evening. And the Cavaliers looking to be over the hills, heading home with the victory. Rebound, Frost, 1:13 left. The foul game might be in play now for the Blues. They're going to press. They have Champlain dead to rights. Oliver gets it over the midcourt line, and a whistle and a foul. Oliver was no man's land, and now she will get fouled. Of course, there's still 2 more to be administered by the Blues here in this quarter.
Oliver using her speed and great handle, keeping that ball, even though with a lot of pressure from Dawson.
Oliver has it. 1:04 left in this game. Sauda is followed by the Dawson Blues' own.
Exactly. I think
Gassam.
intentional foul, as we might see Dawson starting to fall the ball handler to force that bonus situation.
VIU, get ready. Timeout called by the Blues. VIU will be the site of the 2022 Nationals in Nanaimo, BC. We have the 2 here. The question is, who will be the Quebec champion? And right now, if this was a CNN political vote, the projections going towards Champlain with so little time left, up by 9.
Exactly. Dawson often being in the position of going towards the national as the Quebec champs, but not being able to finish when they're at the national level. So it's going to be interesting to see if Champlain do come up with the win, and Dawson entering the tournament as the lowest seed from Quebec, and see if maybe that gives them that bit of a push to finish first.
Dawson has a bit of a tougher draw with VIU, Humber College, and I forget the other team. It's blank. Lakeland. Lakehead, I beg your pardon. Lakeland is in there as well. I apologize for Lakeland. So right now, Dawson has a tougher draw for the Nationals, but right now they're in an ultimate draw right here, down by 9. 69-60 lead. Gababert, Mocon. It will be Champlain ball. Dawson still has one more foul to give to put Champlain in the bonus. And you wonder if the crowd might rush the court with 1:01 left. We'll find out. Sauter looking for a cutter. Finds Frost, gets it back. Open space to work with, killing off more seconds. Dia on her. They're going to play for the shot. Oliver slashing. Oliver losing it. Back to Owen. Here they come. 48 seconds left in this ball game. Owen going to the right. Going up strong. That's short, and she's fouled. She gets to the line, but can't finish for the basket, though.
Exactly. Owen really good at creating a lot of space, putting a lot of pressure, sometimes using her left hand to kind of create separation. Sometimes it could be, just the limit of having an offensive foul, but she gets away with it, and that creates an open lane for her.
69-61. Could Champlain put Dawson to the sword now in the final 43 seconds left in this matchup? And now a 7-point lead. Pressure defense. Dawson coming with blue waves after blue waves and deluge, and now free throws is going to be the game here. So this 38 seconds might take 20 minutes to finish.
2 huge free throws from Frost, who's been so far very consistent. A great match so far for her.
And now Frost at the line to ice this game away. Misses. So a 3-basket lead remains intact to make it a 70-62 lead. Can they get this free throw to go through to put more of a clamp on this victory, perhaps? No. Rebound right to Bailey. She's walled off by Skelton, killing off viable seconds, trying to get through. They do. They're going to have to shoot a quick one here. They're taking too much time off the clock. Owen, head fake. Owen, second head fake for 3. No good. And that might be the last roll of the dice for the Dawson Blues with 19.5 left. And this will be Dawson ball. The 7-point lead. This is now going to be Reggie Miller time here, trying to score a plethora of baskets with little time left in this ball game.
Exactly. Owen Lafontaine or Shatila is going to be
no good. Loose ball out of bounds. And this will be Dawson ball with 12.9 left.
A chippy finish for that game, where none of the teams are able to connect.
Last roll of the dice. Monka's jumper is in. 9.5 left here. 5-point lead. Here's Sauda. They're going to play off. On September 1st, 2007, Georgia Mounts brought this Cavalier program to Division I. 5,312 days later, the Odyssey leads them to a championship. To the Nanaimo BC they go as your D1 champions. Champlain. The weight of the world lifted off Georgia Mounts' shoulders. Over 5,312 days building up for this moment, and they finally get it. And they are your Quebec champions. VIU, get ready. The Cavaliers are coming to BC as the champions, and the Blues as the wild card entering.
What do you got? Player of the games? Champlain? Sauda? Okay. Dawson?
And now it is time for the player of the game nominees. And here we go.
Through the help of Cavaliers Sports, who have provided us with two $40 gift cards for our recipients. And again, tonight, Player of the Game Awards will be presented by members of La Coalition des Danseurs du Sport, the coalition of big sports sisters, a group of ex-varsity female athletes who have come together with the mission to end the maltreatment of athletes in organized sports. They use their collective voices to break the silence of abuse and build awareness and create positive change for younger generations of athletes. And now we'd like to invite Sharon Sandy, alum of Champlain and Hall of Fame inductee to women's basketball, former coach of the AA Dawson women's team, and current assistant coach of the Concordia women's basketball team, Joelle Martina, La Rossi alumni, and emotional intelligence and expert and advocate. Juanita Jones, alumni of the Dawson College and Concordia University women's basketball teams, and psychologist here at Champlain, St-Lambert. Draw the match, player of the game for Dawson. Physically make some noise. Now back, number 4, Lily Rose Shatila.
19 points, 3 of 6 from three-point range, 6 of 16 from the field goal territory in 34 minutes of play for Shatila.
Hey, Bobo Cavaliers, your Cavaliers. Denotes this, number 10.
Her last ever home game here at St-Lambert. Finished it off with 16 points, 4 rebounds, 6 of 9 shooting.
And honestly, that was a quiet 16, but that last 3 really, I think, knocked it off for Champlain and kind of secured that win. So that was a well-deserved title for tonight.
And you can see the emotions. Gabby, you've been here before. You won a national title with McGill in 2017 against Laval at the Nationals. And the emotions completely different within 10 yards of each other, 20 yards of each other.
Absolutely. It's hard to describe, but, winning it at home for Champlain, like you've mentioned earlier, with such a long period, having to wait for finally tasting that goal, it's an incredible feeling, and it must felt amazing, especially after that kind of a bit of those 2 last kind of shaky season, with COVID being part of their regular basis.
So Sauda is your MVP of the playoffs, and the Lafayette-bound commit will go to BC as one of the central figures to Champlain's hopes of hopefully becoming a national champion. And now the highlight of every CEGEP player's career, the team banner of champions. And here we go.
Your championship banner as your 21-22 RSEQ Women's Division I Finals winners and champions.
And the banner and the best picture for any athlete is the team picture with the banner. There's no medals today. They'll get that at a later date. But it's still one of the greatest forever photos that any player, athlete will have, professionally or amateur-wise.
Exactly. Those photos, remains in your archive for a long time. It's always a good memory. You create bonds with your teammate, especially when you do have winning teams like that, going through to the end and winning it all the way. It really creates long time, lifetime memories, and also teammates that remains your family for most part of your life.
And for this team now, they go to Nanaimo, BC next week. very hot. There's some heavy hitters out there, Humbers out there, VIU that lost to Okanagan in the Pac West final. They're on the other side of the bracket. So that's a long travel going to Vancouver. You've been there. You went to Victoria for the Nationals. What is the key thing for this Champlain team, and even for Dawson too, going out to Vancouver, to the west coast of British Columbia, that they have to get ready for at the Nationals?
I think they have to rest their body, making sure that they are in shape and making sure that those small injuries that always come out towards the end of the season are all well taken care of. Always doing a lot of videos, a lot of preparation. Every team, they do have their scouting reports for teams that are coming up. So I think really doing your homework, studying the teams that are going to be against you. And Champlain has a good shot of going far in that national run. So it's going to be interesting if they continue still peaking at the right moment, as we've seen throughout these provincial, from game one to this game. I think we've seen tremendous improvement, and it's going to be fun to see them try to get that gold at nationals.
Yeah, and coming up next will be the net cutting as well to our left, and they're going to be in euphoria for the next 24 hours. Because they'll fly out Wednesday, so they'll have a short time to celebrate. Because normally in a pre-COVID world of ours, there would be a 2-week gap from provincials to nationals. But because of the unique schedule, because of the 2-month lockdown, it's been tough gap for all athletes, whether it's basketball or any sport that's been impacted by the lockdown. And for Champlain and Dawson to get to this summit, it was remarkable given how it is. And now what they're going to do is they're going to bring all the alums, the former athletes that have played for the women's team, into the photo, and they'll get more and more players into this picture here as they will now work their way through. This might be a school picture than a group picture at this moment.
It's always fun to see alumni being really attached to their program and kind of supporting the team. That makes a big difference in a success. You don't really see it. You don't really notice it when you're in it and when it goes very fast, but once you graduated as an alumni, being there and showing your support, I think makes a big difference down the line.
Yeah, and you've had a few of those hats on your head, and that's a forever token memento that they'll have in their life over here.
Yeah, no, exactly, and as I mentioned, for Dawson, it's far from over. My last 3 years at Sainte Foy in a collegiate, we've actually lost the 2 times in the provincial final against Dawson, and we came back at nationals to win it all. So, it's never a easy down the road, and there's still hope for Dawson to get that first national championship. Going sometimes as being the underdog gives you a bit of a shadow, or not having the chip on your shoulder sometimes gives you an advantage and grit back into making it to the final.
And that's the one thing you have to look at. Dawson will have 24 hours to overcome this sting of a loss and get ready for the Nationals, because it's a new game, right? You're playing teams that you're not familiar with. And that's one thing to look at, the adjustment of what you have to do as a team, as an athlete. The travel, you mentioned resting up.
Yep.
But getting familiar with your opponent, because if you lose one, you're out. There's no second chance at the Nationals.
Exactly. It's one and done. So you really have to make sure that you're prepared for every game that you're taking part of, and giving it all. For those for some player on that team, it's their last year at the collegiate level, so they have to make sure that they give it all and have no regrets after that championship.
The game, and you can see the hugs, it's every alumni out there right now just hugging up all the Champlain players. This game, Champlain led tape to tape. They had the first kill shot at 3-0, and they didn't look back. And when you think about it, though, they opened up with a 3-0 lead against Dawson back in November. Dawson went on an 8-0 run. Dawson had the runs, but it just wasn't enough on the missed shots that they had in the second half and the easy layups that they missed in the first half. You wonder if maybe nerves was a factor and why they couldn't finish at the lip of the rim.
I think Champlain were really good at kind of trying to contain those runs and kind of making sure that they do not get into a momentum where, you know, they're losing confidence. I think they really stick to the game plan from beginning towards the end and focus on the small things. I think in defense, they really try to make sure that they control the key, forcing the Dawson players much more towards their left hand because Dawson is a quick team. They're attacking the basket very well and going down those lines. By forcing them to go into that left lane, kind of reduce the percentage, as we've seen towards the end, having only less than a 30% field goal for Dawson. So that's hard to beat in a final game. It's if you're not making those quick basket, you know, those quick twos, it's gonna be hard at that level to win a game.
What's even more bamboozling, or bamboozle in this whole situation, Champlain was never been beaten in a rebound battle here. They were beating 52-44 lead. However, Dawson had 30 offensive rebounds and yet lost the game by 5. And the missed free throws, 14 missed free throws. And it's going to be a long night for this staff, but for Champlain, they persevered because 1 week ago, Gab, you and I were both here. They were down 25-10 to Montmorency, and they pulled off a great escape to get back in this game.
Exactly. Like I've mentioned, sometimes having a tougher first game and kind of really having to dug deep into your star player and also kind of getting that stress a bit feeling is sometimes really helpful going down the lane. So you get that experience of being really on the edge and not losing confidence. So they've been really using that into their advantage as they move forward. And another stat that is also kind of interesting is the amount of field goal in total. So Dawson actually did have 20 more shots into their possession. So it's a potential 40 total points that were not, you know, taking advantage of. So Dawson really had more opportunity with all of those extra rebounds, but did not use them wisely and kind of missed way too many easy shots. And that, I think, cost them their loss.
And a loss that will sting now. They've lost 2 finals in a row to your St. Juan Dynamic on their home court. I know you're smiling underneath the mask. And now here to Champlain. And it's going to be a situation now where they'll have to reboot, reset, get ready for the Nationals at Nanaimo BC next week at VIU. Champlain will be your Quebec champions. Dawson, the wild card entrant towards the Royal Rumble. 8 teams go to the West Coast. 1 will be a national champion. By next Saturday, we'll know that. And for that is our final game here at Champlain for the year. Gab, I know you came on for the playoff run, but you came on at the most perfect time of the emotions of what it was at the start and at the end with Champlain now, your Quebec champions.
Absolutely. It was a great pleasure to be here. Maybe I brought a bit of that championship luck. Who knows? But it was a real pleasure to be here, to notice that. And again, a great basketball game, great team on both ends. And I'm very excited to see how this fold up at Nationals.
Well, that's the voice of Gab Hébert, and with that, it is time for us to sign off here from St-Lambert, Quebec. You can watch the men's final right now between Thetford and Dawson out at Thetford. As Gab said, it's very cold out there at this time of year, so I will not be there. I'm here in South Shore. Thank you to Vince Amato, to the entire staff and crew here for the full season of Cavaliers sports. It started with football, soccer, both men's and women's basketball, and now we wrap it up with the championship here for Quebec as we sign off here. Thank you very much, Gab, for your help, as always, and we'll see you guys in the fall of 2022. Bye for now.